Let's dive right into removing the front wheel from our first generation Triumph Speed Twin. How you stabilize your bike and get the front wheel airborne is up to you, but this is how I go about doing it, and it is a very secure way to do it. First thing I do is stabilize the bike by lifting the rear wheel with a paddock stand. Next, I lift the front with a headstand. The first step is to remove the calipers from the forks. Calipers are heavy, so you don't want to damage your brake lines by leaving them just dangle to gravity. I use some baling wire and wrap it around a bracket for the radiator. Unbolting the calipers is straightforward. Just use a 14mm socket to loosen the bolts. Simply slide the calipers away from the discs to suspend them from the baling wire. I like to leave the bolts in the bolt holes so I don't misplace them or accidentally kick them across the garage floor. Be sure to avoid using the front brake lever until you're finished. Repeat the process on the opposite side. Be careful on the left side not to tweak the ABS sensor wire. You may need to partially unclip it from the brake line. With the calipers out of the way, all we need to do is remove the axle. To do this, we must first loosen the pinch bolt on the right side fork. Use a 6mm hex wrench here. You do not need to remove it, just loosen it. I recommend these handy tools that will fit a number of axle sizes. We need the 17mm for this bike. Loosen the axle fully. You want to see it draw out of the left fork. When you have reached the end of the threads, support the weight of the wheel with one hand and pull the axle out of the fork with the other. Store the axle in a clean, dry place. Before replacing your wheel, take a little time to remove the spacers and clean them up, along with the bearing faces as well. Apply a little lithium-based grease to the face and reinstall them, noting the correct mating face of the spacers. It's the one closest to the groove on the spacer. Remove any excess grease, which would otherwise attract dirt. Be careful during this process to avoid getting any grease on the brake rotor. This could lead to severe braking issues. If you did, make sure you clean it off very thoroughly. You can also apply a little grease to the axle if you like. I did not in this case. It's not really necessary. It just helps the removal process go a little easier in the future. Everything from here on out is done in the reverse order of removal. Place the wheel between the forks, lift it into place, and slide the axle through the forks and wheel. Use your axle hex tool to hand tighten the axle, making sure it threads properly into the left fork. The torque specifications I'm about to give you all come from the Haynes manual, so that is my source of this information. So next we want to use our torque wrench to tighten the axle to 65 Newton meters or 48 foot-pounds. Then tighten and torque the pinch bolt to 22 Newton meters or 16 foot-pounds. Remove the calipers from the baling wire, slide them around the brake disc, making sure you get it centered between the pads, and then bolt them to the forks. Tighten the bolts by hand and set your torque wrench to 21 Newton meters or 15.5 foot-pounds and secure the bolts. Repeat this on the left side, making sure to route the ABS wire correctly. Remove the baling wire from the bike, give the brake lever a couple good squeezes to set the pads, then lower your bike and you are ready to roll. Thanks for watching this Ulterior Moto video. If you liked it, please hit the like button, and if you subscribe, that would be amazing as well. I really appreciate that. That keeps me generating this content. See you out on the road. Ride smart.